All right, welcome back, everybody. How you doing? I want to start off by addressing one of the comments that I got on one of my last videos. I had somebody say that I was just hopping onto the Trump hate bandwagon to try to get attention and all this stuff, and I got called a CBC watching and a CNN loving lefty liberal snowflake and all that other good stuff. I want to start off by saying I know that CBC and CNN and MSNBC and Fox News, they're all bullshit. That's kind of the point of this, is that, they're all bullshit. If I genuinely believed that they were telling the truth and that everything they were saying was right, then what the fuck would be the point of what I'm doing right now? But what I want to talk to you about today is a little bit more of a blast from the past, going back to the beginning of 2019, and a little bit more on the topic of Canadian politics. But to preface it, I want to start off by talking about what's going on a little bit in the U.S. and comparing it to what happened in Canada at the beginning of 2019 and what almost cost Justin Trudeau the election. So, as every single one of you guys know, Donald Trump has been impeached. If you don't, then why are you watching? You don't give a fuck about politics. But as most of you probably know, the moment it goes to the Senate, it's probably going to die because there's a majority on the Senate, right? So even if Donald Trump is guilty, and he is, I'm sorry, like if you don't think that he's guilty, you don't know enough or you're in denial. But yeah, he is guilty. The trial is going to determine whether or not that matters, or even if there is going to be a trial. But the point I'm trying to make is that there's a majority in the Senate. All right. So you need a majority vote to remove the president and for him to be, found guilty on the articles of impeachment. We had a very similar situation to what was going on in the Ukraine back at the beginning of 2019 with what's called the SNC Lavalin scandal. And I'm going to make the case that Justin Trudeau is just as corrupt as Donald Trump. All right. So Justin Trudeau got a $50,000 illegal donation to his campaign by SNC Lavalin, which is a massive engineering firm in Quebec. He tried to get what is referred to as a deferred prosecution agreement against them because they got caught bribing Libyan officials. That deferred prosecution would mean that they would essentially get off the hook and they would still be able to get federal contracts. If they got prosecuted, they could still work for anybody with the exception of the federal government. It's honestly not as big of a deal as the scandal made it seem like it was going to be, and about all these jobs that were going to be lost. It wasn't going to happen. But he pressured the then Attorney General Jody Wilson-Raybould to push through and review a deferred prosecution agreement after she had already signed against it. So this is, of course, in violation of many ethics laws. It's trying to override the criminal justice system for your own political gain, which is incredibly corrupt. Exactly what's going on down in the United States now, but sort of on a smaller scale. And back then, the NDP and the conservative governments together tried to pass a bill to have an investigation into Justin Trudeau. Not even prosecute him, just to investigate it, just to look into it. You know what I mean? And I mean, really, the investigation would have been open and shut. There were voice recordings of the phone calls that happened, and he was 100% guilty. And honestly, he probably should have resigned. But Justin Trudeau used his majority to vote down investigating himself. All right, so imagine you got 100 people voting, and the person at the very top commits a crime, and then his 51 flunkies go, no, too bad, we're not going to investigate it, and you just get off the hook, right? You're off the hook. That's it. If it seems like incredibly wrong and like it should be illegal, because probably is, but this is what we refer to as a corrupt system. So I know I've been a little all over the place on this video. I'm doing it like on an empty stomach. So I'm not as hyped up as I was in the last one. But the point I'm trying to make here is to anybody looking at Donald Trump right now, knowing that he's about to use his majority to get off for impeachment. And since I know like 99% of you watching this right now are going to be from Canada, and we like to sit here and think, wow, the United States is so crazy. That kind of stuff would never happen in Canada. It did. It happened at the beginning of 2019, right? And it almost cost Justin Trudeau the election until, of course, Andrew Scheer came out as Canada's version of Hillary Clinton, the single worst candidate that has ever been presented for any party ever. To be able to lose to Justin Trudeau just shows how terrible you really are. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to do a big episode on corruption at some point. I think I'm going to wait a little bit until after the impeachment trial is over. But just to give you guys an idea, Canada really ain't much better than the United States is. And no, I am not a CNN, CBC loving lefty. I will go after the liberals and the left or anybody on that side when they do things that are wrong. I don't care if you're right wing. I don't care if you're left wing. If you do something that's wrong, I'm going to call you out. And obviously, I'm going to talk more about Donald Trump because he's in fucking office, you idiot. Who else am I supposed to talk about? You want me to talk about Barack Obama 4 years ago? I did a little bit. If the Democrats come in power, if Joe Biden's in power, I'll talk about him too. But like, no shit, I'm going to fucking talk about Donald Trump. He's the president of the United States. Get off my dick. All right, I got to go to work. Keep it real.